Hey traders, Raghee here. In the previous videos, I've been spending a lot of time on copper. But after copper, yes, I'm interested in platinum, but probably the most requested symbol that I have right now is silver. And as silver heads lower, a lot of traders are asking whether this is really a name that we have a potential bullish setup in. Now, the first thing we have to tackle is the fact that when I take a look at what's happening in silver, we have a yellow market. A yellow market means this market's actually stuck in a range. So then my next job is to identify where that range is. And we have some interesting swing highs up in here. This is actually a point of control and actually some previous swing lows in this area. So what we have here is a market going back and forth within a range, which is exactly what that yellow, this right? I know it's very small, but that's exactly what that little yellow triangle is telling me. By the way, the upper red triangle simply tells me that the 81321 is bearish right now, which would make sense because we're moving lower. But the lower triangle, the yellow triangle, so we're red over yellow, 81321 is bearish, but the angle of the wave in our 34 exponential moving average is telling me, hey, this is still a range-bound choppy market. And in a range-bound choppy market, if we can get down to this area here, this is potentially a buy. So I have a point of control here. I have the 200 period exponential moving average swooping up in here. And we have some pretty nice volume coming in this area right there, pretty nice stacking up, coming up, in this area back in here. So if I see all that layered up around 26, 20, that's what, 24, 26, 24, 30, this area here, that's the lower end of the long range that I'd be looking for. And I could probably get as aggressive as about 2470 in that area. So what we end up having is a zone that puts us right about there. So when we sink into this zone, which we actually have, this would be a great place to look at either getting long SI, but I would actually, even to my futures traders, recommend getting long SLV in this area. And I'd be looking for an oversold buy setup, an oversold buy setup. And in a case like this, if we take out the swing low from the 19th of January, I'd say go ahead and, call it a day. But keep this in mind, that would put us right at the value of this 200 EMA, right? This low right here. It's a Darvas low and it's a swing low. So I would say put your stop just below that 200, just below that 200 exponential moving average. And so the closer you are to the 200, the lower your risk. That means the difference between your entry and your stop is a narrower distance, low risk. And again, I would focus on calls in SLV. In the premium video, I'll start talking about what calls I would focus on and how far out to expiration we want to go, as well as the levels on SLV and how I use the futures contract and the ETF contract to understand where we are in terms of support and resistance. Most of my commodities ETF trades are going to be built off what's happening in the underlying commodity futures contract. All right, so that's what we've got, a buy setup in silver, and I'll see you in the next update.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me